All right, good morning DXN Philippines and good morning DXN World. Ayan, so this is me once again, Ivy Celeste, ang host for today. And welcome to our another episode of Wellness Wednesday. Bilis ng araw, no? Parang gumising tayo, Monday now, Wednesday na agad. And today, of course, samahan niyo po ako at ang ating guest doctor. Yes, we have another guest doctor this time around. And isang oras po ninyo kaming masasamahan today para sa isang makabuluhan at punong-puno ng kaalamang pangkalusugan. Dito sa ating episode nga na tinatawag nating Wellness Wednesday. Okay, so yan. And today's episode, no, mga partners, is very relevant and very timely dito sa ating health and product and focus. Dahil naging mainit ang usaping ito sa pagpasok nga ng pandemya. So itatakal yan ng ating speaker later on. Okay, but before ko siya tawagin at ipakilala sa inyo, siyempre, hindi mawawala muna yung ating pa-like and share nitong ating live stream ngayon. So, please like and share. I-tag nyo na rin yung inyong mga partners, inyong mga members para hindi nila ma-miss out itong very exciting na topic na ito. And yeah, all over the world, sa inyong mga partners, all over the Philippines, i-share nyo na. Keep on sharing sa lahat ng GC and everything, okay? So, while waiting po sa inyong mga pa-comments at may shoutout kayo later on. Yan. Batiin ko rin muna ang ating lahat ng viewers ngayon. Naka-tune in. We have 33,000. Wow! 33,000 viewers! Keep on sharing, okay? So we have, batiin ko muna, of course, all our Crown Ambassadors na nanonood ngayon, all our Crown Diamonds, our Service Center Directors, Star Diamonds, Star Rubies, Star Agents. Kung nariyan kayo, type ninyo. Proud Star Agents, Proud Star Ruby, mga ganun nga, para makita natin kung ano na rin yung status ninyo. Sa lahat ng distributors and all our speakers, bureau members, hello sa inyong lahat dyan. I do hope na sinasamahan nyo kami today and I do hope na you're enjoying this episode while sipping your favorite coffee. Okay? So, okay. Technical, do we have mga pagbati na dyan? Ay, eto. Oo. Hello kay Ronald Federico de Mesa. Unang-una to, parang kahapon pa lang naka-comment na siya, nakaabang na. Hello sa'yo, Sir Ronald. We all have Frida Gujranwala. I do hope na pronounce ko siya na maayos. From Pakistan. We have Ma'am Nini Blando, ang ating Service Center Directress from Lawag. And we have Maridel Adante all the way from Laguna. Hello, ma'am. Palike naman po and share. Siyempre, hindi mawawala. Ito, napakamalapit nito sa ating guest speaker. We have Jean Magsino from Pampanga. Hello sa iyo, Miss Jean. And at ang ating Service Center Directors all the way from Tungko, Bulacan. Hey, Ma'am Mean Pausan. Siya ay nasa Quezon City. Ang lapit lang niya dito. We have DXN Kabuyao. Nanonood din siya sa service center nila. Hello sa inyo dyan. Sino pa? We have Feby Rojas all the way from Cotabato. We have Celine Francisco. Hello daw. Good morning daw everyone. And Evelyn Bedis. Pwede po kayong mag-tag ng inyong mga mention ninyo para naman sa ganon ma-notify sila. Evelyn Bedis all the way from Kuala Lumpur. Betty Nataya from 13 Martires. We have Gwendolyn Porganan all the way from Zamboanga. And Vanessa Cao from Coronadal. Nakakamiss tong mga partners natin sa DXN na sa virtual, no? Proud Star Ruby, ayon kay Vanessa. Wow. Going Star Diamond na. Angelita Iborda from Lanao del Norte. Hello sa inyo sa Lanao. Hi, Miss Jenny Jacob from Sapang Palay, yung mga team leaders natin sa Bulacan. Hello, team leaders. Sino pa? Proud Star Ruby, yes, si Miss Jean Magsino. Malapit-lapit na rin itong makamit ang kanyang pagiging diamond. We have Nieves, Juana Valderrama. medyo mahirap i-pronounce. Hi, Miss Nieves from Tungko. Christine Melchor from Ipil Sibugay. Hello sa inyo dyan. Okay. Ayun. Yun na. Pero don't worry, babalikan namin later yung inyong mga pagbate, yung inyong mga pa-shoutout, yung inyong mga i-mention. So please, stay here, keep on watching this live stream till the end dahil marami po kayong matututunan gaya ng sinabi ko. But before ko tawagin ulit ang ating guest doctor, mayroon lamang po ako sing ipapaliwanag very, very briefly all about our company profile. Ayan. So, welcome to our April 2022 Health and Product in Focus. Ayan. So, ang topic po later is all about World Immunization Week. Boost up your immunity. Okay, sa ating mga partners, no, particularly sa mga bago pa lamang dito sa DXN, maging sa mga, kung hindi pa man kayo miyembro ng DXN, maybe you are wondering, ano bang ibig sabihin ng logo na ito? So, yung inyo pong nakikitang logo na nariyan, unahin na po natin na itong logo ay mayroong talagang malalim na meaning, not just a logo dito sa DXN. The red oval na inyo pong nakikita ay nagsisimbolize po ng rising sun because we here in DXN, we believe na lagi po tayong positive, may positive outlook, di ba? Ang symbol po ng rising sun ay laging bagong umaga, bagong pag-asa. Alright, and the blue one, yan, nakikita ninyo yung blue line na yan, yan po yung nagsisimbolize po ng water as basis of life. So si DXN ganun din po, no? Nagiging foundation po ng bawat distributors, bawat service center directors, bawat leaders, ang DXN sa pagtulong sa kanila sa paglago sa kanilang negosyo. And also, yung nakikita po ninyo na green, yan po ay nagsisimbolize as vitality na kung inyo pong mababatid, may mga sanga-sanga siya, kung saan it symbolized as growth. So, kung hindi nyo na po may tatanong, ang DXN po ay nasa more than 190 countries na po and still counting. So, kaya naman, very proud tayo dapat mga ka-DXN na tayo po ay nasa halos lahat ng lupalop ng bansa dito sa buong mundo. Alright? So, the R sign sa gilid po ng red oval, yan po ay ibig sabihin, tayo po ay naka-registered po sa IPO or Intellectual Property Office. Bilang ito pong logo na to ay hindi po basta-basta pwedeng gamitin ng kahit sino pa man. Now, ano bang ibig sabihin ng DXN? DXN is from the word DXN. Okay, so ang ibig sabihin po ng DXN ay integrity, trustworthiness, and cheerfulness. And kung inyo pong mapapansin, lahat halos tayo dito sa DXN, mapa-member man or mapa-management team, ay merong mga katangian nito na dapat kung ikaw ay taga-DXN, you have the integrity na you're doing the right thing with or without someone looking at you. At dapat tayo po ay napapagkakatiwalaan sa maliit man o malaking bagay. At kaya naman nakikita ninyo lahat ng membro natin dito sa DXN ay masiyahin na tuwing nakikita ninyo, puro good morning at laging mga nakasmile ang ating mga distributors, maging ang ating mga counter staff pa lang na bumabati sa inyo dito sa head office, maging sa mga branches natin all over the Philippines. Nakikita ninyo, we are all cheerful because we are mini DXN. Alright, syempre isa po sa dapat nating ipagmalaki at dapat nating kilalanin, lalong-lalo na dito sa ating kumpanya. Sino ba ang ating founder and CEO? Narito po ang ating CEO, si Dr. Lin Xiaojin. Ayan. So, ang DXN po ay inilunsad or na-establish sa taong 1993 in Kedah, Malaysia. Okay, ni Dr. Lin Xiaojin. And yes. Yes, in Kedah, Malaysia in 1993. Okay, so ang kagustuhan po nitong si Dr. Lim Xiaojin, when he was young, kasi talagang maano na siya sa mga mushroom, talagang pinag-aaralan niya na itong mabuti. And he found out that the Ganoderma, meron siyang maraming mga benefits, nutritions na makakatulong sa ating kalusugan. And he wanted na lahat ng mga tao ay makinabang sa ganda ng Ganoderma, ganda ng mushroom na ito, ng red mushroom na ito. So, kaya siya nagunsad nitong DXN na ito ay para makilala nga po itong Ganoderma sa buong mundo. And just few years ago, ayan, si Dr. Lim ay pinarangalan sa PJN, ayan, the Panglima Jasa Negara Award bilang, ayan, pinakita niya sa buong mundo na yung DXN ay nagbibigay ng quality products na may concept na one world, one market na naging instrumento po sa pagbibigay nga ng magandang kalusugan at magandang kabuhayan sa milyong-milyong tao sa buong mundo. And of course, to know more about our company, about our Dr. Lim Xiaojin, ayan. So, ito, lately ko lang siya na-start na basahin because I wanted to know more about our company. So, available pa rin po ang My Journey with DXN ni Dr. Lim Xiaojin. His book, very interesting. Ito po ay sinulat ni Dr. Rajesh Savera. So, available po ito sa ating mga branches and sa ating mga service centers nationwide. So, I think nasa half pa lang ako, pero kung akala ninyo, alam nyo na ang halos lahat ng about kay Dr. Lim Xiaojin at maging sa DXN history, well, basahin nyo po ito. Ang must read po itong librong ito. Okay? So, back to our topic. Ayan. So, for our World Immunization Week, ipatatawagin ko na at ipapakilala sa inyo. Well, hindi na siya bago sa atin dahil naging guest na natin siya sa mga previews nating mga episodes. The Doctor is In and the Health and Product and Focus. So, let's all welcome with our virtual hearts and claps our resident doctor here in DXN, ang anesthesiologist sa Villuna Medical Center, si Dr. Jose Carlo Magsino. Good morning, Doc.
Hello po, good morning. Good morning, Ma'am Ivy. Good morning, viewers.
Good morning, Doc. Ayan, si Doc. Bago natin pag-startin si Doc, Doc, pakita mo muna kung ano yung logo ng t-shirt mo. Yan, pinakita ni Doc kanina yan. Pusuan naman natin si Doc. Proud na proud siyang taga-DXN, si Doc Jose Carlo Magsino. So, Doc, before tayo mag-start, baka meron ka munang gustong batiin?
Well, syempre, batayin ko muna po yung father ko, which is the Service Center Director of Pampanga. So, Pampanga users, yan, meron po tayong service center dyan, and they usually conduct trainings and mga seminars. And to my sister, Jean Magsino, which is Star Ruby, incoming Star Diamond, hopefully. And to my wife, user din ng DXN. Currently, buntis ngayon.
Wow! Congratulations, Doc. Congrats naman natin si Doc. Okay, so sige, Doc, balikan kita later para sa ating mga Q&A right after your session.
Sige. Yeah, so for our topic for today, very timely po sa situation natin yan sa mundo. Ating vaccines. So, they say na the World Immunization Week, so celebrated in the last week of April, which is this week, aims to highlight the collective action needed and to promote the use of vaccines. It could protect people of all ages against diseases. So very effective po itong mga vaccines natin to help our body fight off or labanan po yung mga diseases na pwedeng makita agad ng ating katawan through the use of vaccines. Mamaya, later po, we'll try to explain how it works o paano po nag-work yung ating mga vaccines. So, the WHO, World Health Organizations, works with countries across the globe to raise awareness of the value of vaccines. So ito na to, World Health Organization na po yung nag-promote. So, we need to check on this kasi there are experts who are trying to study or they are really working on vaccines to help the health of many people in the world. And immunization and ensures that governments obtain the necessary guidance and technical support to implement high-quality immunization programs. What is immunization po? So immunization is the process whereby an individual is made immune or resistant to an infectious disease, typically by the administration of a vaccine. So, the vaccines po, as we going to explain later, there are certain parts or weakened viruses or bacteria that are introduced or binibigay sa katawan ng tao. Kasi ang katawan po ng tao, they can build up immune responses or immune defenses na will help to fight off these diseases. So, yung vaccines nito will stimulate the body own immune system to protect the person against subsequent infection or disease. Some of these diseases are deadly, so with the help of vaccines, so it can easily be prevented. So it is done through various techniques called yung vaccination, yung pagbigay ng ating mga vaccine sa katawan through injection or through oral. Meron dito yan. So what is vaccination? Vaccination is the administration of a vaccine to help the immune system. So, ulit-ulit po na it will help the immune system to grow or to develop antibodies na sinasabi, explain po natin later, na it will fight off or madali pong makikilala ng katawan po natin kung pumasok po yung certain diseases or certain viruses, bacteria, and it will develop protection from that disease. So, facts of immunization, there's more than 1 billion children vaccinated over the last decade. Currently, most children receive a life-saving vaccine. So, we have a lot of deadly diseases. Pero with the help of vaccines, marami pong natutulungan ito. There are some anecdotes or stories na masama daw po yung vaccine, pero hindi po natin mapuprove talaga na dahil po ito sa vaccine. So acceptance of new and underused vaccine is growing. Then immunization at this time inhibits 2 to 3 million deaths every year. So prior po nung earlier times nung wala pong vaccine, there are certain diseases na hindi po natin kayang gamutin. So may time po before yung flu, dati po deadly po yan. Ngayon, ano na lang siya, parang usual na lang. Because nag-develop na po yung bodies natin to fight off the disease. Pero with the help of vaccine, kahit na ma-introduce sa iyo yung virus o yung bacteria, mabilis mo na siyang malalabanan. So an estimated of 19.7 million under the age of 1 year did not get basic vaccines. Yun lang, may mga certain facts natin. So how does immunization work? Immunization makes your immune system stronger. So it helps your body to quickly fight against bacteria and viruses. So the body easily recognize o madali niya makilala yung virus. So, sa pagpasok niya pa lang ng cell, kilala na siya, pwede na siyang malabanan agad. So, vaccination is the active form of immunization. Next slide, please. So, recommended immunizations for children 0 to 6. So, discuss lang natin itong mga certain kinds of diseases or viruses or bacteria. So, our influenza, it is a respiratory illness caused by a virus, and usually makita mo to sa ating mga respiratory tract, sa ating nose, sa throat, sa ating lungs. So sa nose, may infect yung influenza, doon siya pumapasok. So with vaccine, it can help na hindi na siya infect yung tao. Next one is measles, is also caused by a virus. So, the symptoms is, lagnat, fever, coryza, or yung pagsisipon, cough, sobrang pagkakaubo, at saka conjunctivitis, yung pamumula ng mata. And we can see na meron siyang mga rashes due to measles. Usually, nagsistart po siya sa scalp, pababa. And nagde-develop to usually after 14 days from infection. So, may incubation time pa po siya. So the transmission is through the inhalation of the virus. So kung meron pong infected, umubo, or nasa air pa po yung virus, pag nalanghap, may possibility po na ma-infect po yung person. So mumps naman po is yung tinatawag na beke. So it is contagious din po, madaling makahawa. It is caused by a virus. Then you can see na nagsiswell po yung mga salivary glands, yung namamaga po yung mga panga kasi may salivary glands po dyan. So, ang infection po nito is through droplets, yung mga sa pag-ubo din po o sa plema, pag nakuha ng ibang tao, nahahawa po sila. Next one is rubella po. affects the skin and lymph nodes, and it is very dangerous po sa pregnant women kasi it can cause congenital anomaly sa baby. Hindi po nagde-develop minsan yung kamay pa or magkakaroon po ng kakaibang growth. Usually ang cause ito, ang nagiging effect po nito sa baby is deafness. So the transmission is through direct contact from other person. Next one po is hepatitis A. It is usually the inflammation of the liver, yung ating atay. So paano po ito nakukuha? So from poor or dirty water or contaminated food or through fecal-oral or sa ating dumi na nakakain po natin, hindi po masyadong maayos yung pagkakalinis, or yung nag-prepare po ng food, hindi po nagugas ng kamay after going to the CR. So, yun po. Or through blood. So, ito po, usually yung mga diseases ito, nawawala naman po. Pero we need to support po yung mga symptoms po ng patient. Next one po is meningococcal. It's caused by a bacteria, Neisseria meningitis. It usually affects the brain o yung pong mga nakabalot sa brain po natin, sila po ay tumitigas or na-infect. Kaya po minsan masakit po gumalaw pag ginagalaw yung ulo. Usually po ang na-affect po nito yung mga high-risk patients, yung mga mababa yung immune system. So the transmission is through droplets and secretions. Next one is hepatitis B. It is also just like the hepatitis A. It causes liver disease. Pero pag po prolong po masyado yung disease na to, it can also lead to liver cancer. So the transmission po is through contaminated syringes o yung mga injection na ginamit sa iba at natusok sa'yo, and through sexual contact, yung mga exchange po ng bodily fluids, and also sa mother to baby habang buntis po. And usually the symptoms or the signs na meron kang liver disease, if ever naninilaw ka, nag-yellow yung skin mo. Next one is rotavirus, and it caused by a virus. So there's the severe watery diarrhea, vomiting, then fever, abdominal pains in infants and children. So the transmission po nito is through fecal-oral route. Next one po is diphtheria. It's caused by a bacteria, Corina bacterium diphtheriae, and causes difficulty of breathing, hirap huminga, can cause heart problems, heart failure, paralysis, and can also cause death. The transmission po yung para mahawa is through body fluids or discharge po from other persons. Next is tetanus, caused by a bacteria din po is Clostridium tetani. Ang ginagawa po ng toxins ng gantong bacteria, it causes muscle contraction o tumitigas po yung mga muscles. So it's very painful and also known as lockjaw. Tumitigas po yung ating jaw. Hirap po lumunok, and then naglo-lock po yung ating neck, nag-stiff po yung mga muscles. So the transmission po nito is if ever natusok kayo ng dirty na matulis na bagay, and pag napunta po sa mga sugat niyo po or sa cuts or wounds. Next one is pertussis. It's highly contagious respiratory disease caused by a bacteria, Bordetella pertussis. So ang symptoms po nito is yung sobrang pag-ubo, yung parang violent yung pag-ubo po natin, hirap huminga. And then the transmission po nito, paano mahawa, is through pag nag-cough po o nag-sneeze yung other person o yung infected person. Next one po is the HIV or Haemophilus influenzae type B. Is a gram-negative coxobacilli and affects our upper respiratory tracts. So yung ating nose, yung throat, and it can also cause pneumonia o pulmonia, and also causes meningitis, yung kanina po sa meningococcal. Yung ating balot sa brain, tumitigas po, tapos yun nga po, pag na-infect, hirap po gumalaw, yung leg, tumitigas. And the transmission po nito is through droplets o yung kung nag-sneeze and nag-cough din po yung other person na infected. Next one is pneumococcal. It's caused by a bacteria, Streptococcus pneumoniae. Causes ear infection naman po, sinus infection, can also cause pneumonia and blood infections. So the transmission is through direct contact with the secretions po, saliva or mucus. So through coughing po, sneezing ng other person. And the last one po is poliovirus. It is an enterovirus C. It can cause nerve damage. So pag po na damage na yung nerve o yung ating ugat, hindi na po gumagalaw yung certain part ng body niyo. So nagkakaroon po ng paralysis. So as you can see, the persons who are not vaccinated with poliovirus na nagkaroon po ng polio, minsan po maliit po yung isang part na po nila, yung paa, kasi nga po hindi na po nila magamit na damage na po yung ugat o yung nerve. It can also cause difficulty of breathing nung unang times nung dati po minsan nilalagay po sa isang machine yung mga tao pag infected with polio dahil they cannot breathe on their own. So the transmission is through direct contact with the person who is infected. So as you can see, marami pong mga pwedeng sakit na pwedeng ma-prevent ng ating vaccine. So ang dami po nun, some of which if malala po yung pagkakahawa nyo, pwede pong mag-lead to organ failure or death. So it is prudent or important po na magkaroon po na ma-vaccinan po tayo to help prevent po yung mga ganung diseases. So kung i-compare nyo po yung magiging side effects po ng immunization versus do sa mga sakit na pwede nyo makuha, ito po yung mga immunization side effects natin. So, piling ko mas gugustuhin nyo naman po itong mga gantong side effects compared nagkaroon kayo ng disease na pwedeng lumala. So, mostly mild side effects lang naman po yung mga reactions sa immunization. So, sa puncture site ko, kung saan tinusok yung ating vaccine, can cause pain, swelling, or redness where the shot was given. It can last for about 1 to 2 days and eventually mawala naman po yung pain. And if ever hindi naman po mawala, we can consult a doctor or we can drink pain medications or pain relief medications such as mga celecoxib natin or paracetamol. It can also lead to mild fever. So kung na-infect ka ng mga bacteria or virus na to, sometimes high-grade fever, matagal na fever, and for immunization lang naman po is mild fever lang. Then, feeling of tiredness, may headache, may can also show muscle and joint aches, soreness or redness around the injection site, and low-grade fever. These are all the effects po immunization, and we can say na pag po nagkaroon kayo ng ganitong mga effect, nag-work po yung vaccine natin. Kasi yung immune po natin, we're trying to fight off yung binigay na vaccine. Which is also, explain po natin later na pwedeng part siya or pwedeng siya mismo yung virus na pinahina or pinatay. So, binigay siya sa inyo, inattack siya ng ating mga immune responses, and with that, nakatulong po siya dahil nakilala na po siya ng ating katawan. Next slide, please. Pakibalik po. So, importance of immunization, it saves the lives and protects every person as well as their family and community. So, immunization helps protect future generation by eliminating diseases. Also, if immunized po yung mother, minsan, most of the time na natatransfer po sa baby yung ating mga antibodies na it can help to fight off the diseases. There are various infectious diseases that are unusual or eliminating now as outcome of immunization program. So, yung meron po tayong isang sakit before, very deadly, and wala po siyang gamot. Pero with the help of vaccine, na-eradicate po yung sakit na to, yung tinatawag na smallpox. Very deadly po to nung time na yun, nung very, nung endemic pa siya. Naging pandemic din po. So with the help of the vaccine, nakatulong po to matapos na yung sakit na yun. Hopefully, for other viruses po, if ever mabaksinan na po almost all persons in the world, pwede na pong hindi na po maulit yung ganong disease or ganong virus. So, but new contagious diseases are emerging around the world. So, the WHO is continually experimenting, doing scientific research, makagawa po ng bagong vaccines for the new contagious diseases. So, vaccines are the most effective to avoid infectious diseases. It is successfully done depends on the collaboration of every individual. So, dapat po, lahat po tayo, mag-work lang po yung vaccine if ever almost all or 70 to 100% of people in the world is vaccinated. Kasi hindi na po matatransfer yung disease and eventually, gagaling na lang po yung mga taong nagkaroon ng disease ito at di na nila matatransfer to other persons. Next slide, please. So, vaccine protects different diseases. And cervical cancer is caused by a virus, which is the human papilloma virus. And we have a vaccine for that, the HPV vaccine. We have two, the Gardasil and the Cervarix. So, yung Gardasil po maganda rin kasi four types of HPV ang kanyang biniprevent. And the Cervarix is two types of of HPV virus. Next po is cholera. Cholera na po is also being prevented by vaccines po. And the others are also explained na po kanina, diphtheria, hepatitis B, influenza A. Ang Japanese encephalitis naman po is a brain virus. It causes fever, and dahil na damage po yung brain, they can cause inability to speak, stiff neck, confusion, sometimes tremors o nanginginig yung mga kamay, muscle weakness. So the transmission of which, pag po kayo ay nakagat ng mosquito na nakuha ng mosquito from the pigs and birds. So yung virus napunta from the animals, then na-transfer siya sa tao, just like malaria or dengue. So next one, measles, na explain na po, meningitis, mumps and pertussis, pneumonia, polio. The rabies coming from the mammals naman po, which are infected, especially dogs. And rabies po, these are virus po coming from the Rhabdoviridae family and can affect the brain. So, the transmission po, if ever na kagat po kayo or na-bite po kayo ng infected mammal or animal. Then, the rotavirus, rubella, tetanus, typhoid. Ang typhoid naman po is caused by bacteria Salmonella typhi. And the symptoms po is high-grade fever, may headache, general aches, and pains, tapos po panghihina, cough and constipation. Pero eventually, pag po tumagal yung sakit, nagkakaroon po ng tummy ache and eventually po diarrhea naman, watery diarrhea, very watery po siya. So the transmission of which is through contaminated water and food. Kung yung nag-prepare po ng food, hindi po naghugas ng kamay, galing po siya CR, na infect po yung food natin. Next one po is varicella naman po, yung tinatawag nating chickenpox. After the infection po, initial infection ng chickenpox, nagsistay po siya sa nerves and can lead to herpes zoster naman pag po tumagal. Pag humina po yung immune system natin, nare-reactivate po yung virus. So, nagkakaroon po siya ng parang chickenpox-like symptoms pero one area lang po. Pero sobrang sakit po na. So, the transmission po is direct contact po with the person na may varicella or chickenpox. Yun po yung transmission. The next one po is yellow fever, just like po ng Japanese encephalitis. It is caused by mosquito bites, and it is caused by a virus. And the symptoms is fever, chills, headache, backache, and muscle aches. It can also lead to organ failure, shock, and death. So marami po tayong mga sakit na pwedeng ma-prevent po ng ating mga vaccines if we commit na magpa-vaccine po tayo. So global vaccination coverage, around 83% of infants are vaccinated with 3 doses of DTP, diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis containing vaccine in 2020. 13% estimated global coverage, medyo mababa pa po to for our female or na pwede mabigyan ng HPV vaccine that can prevent cervical cancer. So, medyo mababa po yung ating global coverage, 13%. And also, 17 million of children miss out on life-saving measles, diphtheria, and tetanus vaccine in 2020. Yeah po. So, WHO Global Vaccine Action Plan for 2011 to 2021 so helps all countries to commit to immunization as a priority, which means WHO works with them to set national targets and plans, as well as allocate adequate financial and human resources. Supports individuals and communities to understand the value of vaccines and demand immunization as both their right and responsibility. So, the WHO na po yung mismong gumagawa ng way to help promote vaccination around the world. So, develops plans and materials to ensure every person is reached with vaccines, strengthens immunization systems so that it can serve as platform for delivering other health intervention. So, works to increase funding for immunization and ensure safe and reliable vaccine supply system and develop targeted research and development innovation for new and improved vaccines. So, yung WHO na po, they are working to have a coverage po, mabigyan po lahat ng tao na mabigyan ng vaccine. So, it is our job or our duty na po na we should uh, comply with their vaccination programs, and in result, it can help us fight off diseases. Next slide. So, ito lang po yung kanina din, percentage of children who receive DPP-3 worldwide. 83%, medyo mataas po yung coverage natin na nabigyan na po ng DPP yung mga children. And so, for the HPV, medyo mababa pa po. So, more on this to work on. And 17 million children miss out on life-saving measles, diphtheria, and tetanus vaccines. Marami pa pong work to do. So, duty na po ng each and every person to have their vaccines po. And it can help and save a lot of person. So this is a short video po of how the vaccines work. So mamaya after po ng video, i-explain po natin more.
In 1796, the scientist Edward Jenner injected material from a cowpox virus into an 8-year-old boy, with a hunch that this would provide the protection needed to save people from deadly outbreaks of the related smallpox virus. It was a success. The 8-year-old was inoculated against the disease, and this became the first ever vaccine. But why did it work? To understand how vaccines function, we need to know how the immune system defends us against contagious diseases in the first place. When foreign microbes invade us, the immune system triggers a series of responses in an attempt to identify and remove them from our bodies. The signs that this immune response is working are the coughing, sneezing, inflammation, and fever we experience, which work to trap, deter, and rid the body of threatening things like bacteria. These innate immune responses also trigger our second line of defense, called adaptive immunity. Special cells called B cells and T cells are recruited to fight microbes and also record information about them, creating a memory of what the invaders look like and how best to fight them. This know-how becomes handy if the same pathogen invades the body again. But despite this smart response, there's still a risk involved. The body takes time to learn how to respond to pathogens and to build up these defenses. And even then, if a body is too weak or young to fight back when it's invaded, it might face very serious risk if the pathogen is particularly severe. But what if we could prepare the body's immune response, readying it before someone even got ill? This is where vaccines come in. Using the same principles that the body uses to defend itself, scientists use vaccines to trigger the body's adaptive immune system without exposing humans to the full strength disease. This has resulted in many vaccines, which each work uniquely, separated into many different types. First, we have live attenuated vaccines. These are made of the pathogen itself, but a much weaker and tamer version. Next, we have inactive vaccines, in which the pathogens have been killed. The weakening and inactivation in both types of vaccine ensures that pathogens don't develop into the full-blown disease. But just like a disease, they trigger an immune response, teaching the body to recognize an attack by making a profile of pathogens in preparation. The downside is that live attenuated vaccines can be difficult to make, and because they're live and quite powerful, people with weaker immune systems can't have them, while inactive vaccines don't create long-lasting immunity. Another type, the subunit vaccine, is only made from one part of the pathogen, called an antigen, the ingredient that actually triggers the immune response. By even further isolating specific components of antigens, like proteins or polysaccharides, these vaccines can prompt specific responses. Scientists are now building a whole new range of vaccines called DNA vaccines. For this variety, they isolate the very genes that make the specific antigens the body needs to trigger its immune response to specific pathogens. When injected into the human body, those genes instruct cells in the body to make the antigens. This causes a stronger immune response and prepares the body for any future threats. And because the vaccine only includes specific genetic material, it doesn't contain any other ingredients from the rest of the pathogen that could develop into the disease and harm the patient. If these vaccines become a success, we might be able to build more effective treatments for invasive pathogens in years to come. Just like Edward Jenner's amazing discovery spurred on modern medicine all those decades ago, continuing the development of vaccines might even allow us to treat diseases like HIV, malaria, or Ebola one day.
So, it's a very informative video po. Explaining our vaccine. So, explain po natin more further. So, there are two main types of vaccine. The live attenuated vaccine. They contain po yung pong vaccine na yun, they contain the actual bacteria or the virus. Pero they are weakened or pinahina na po sila. So that they create a protective immune response but do not cause disease in the healthy people. So, hindi na po siya active yung cell na yon o yung bacteria or the virus na yun to cause a disease sa katawan. However, dahil inintroduce po siya sa body, lahat po kasi nang ini-introduce sa body na hindi po siya part ng body natin, nare-recognize po siya ng ating katawan na outsider. So, our white cells o yung ating immune system, they will act on them, then producing an immune response or pina-fight off po nila to. So, at the same time, nagkakaroon po ng production ng mga antibodies. So, explain po natin later. Then, inactive vaccines contain whole bacteria or virus which have been killed or small parts or of bacteria or viruses such as proteins or sugars which cannot cause a disease. So, other types of vaccines naman po, pinatay na po talaga yung actual bacteria and or may certain part lang po ng katawan ng bacteria, kuwari, sa katawan po ng tao, pinutol lang po yung kamay, kasi yun po yung in-introduce sa body. Tapos, nakita po siya ng body na outsider, nagkaroon po ng immune response, certain reactions, nagkaroon po ng antibody production. So, for inactive vaccines, medyo mahina po yung actual immune response natin comparing to the live attenuated vaccines. So, there are a lot of types of vaccines. So, we should know kung ano po yung nabibigay sa atin, hindi po yung marami na po kasi na-produce na vaccines ngayon. So, we should also look at kung anong vaccine po yung tinuturo sa atin. Next slide po. So, different types of inactive vaccines. whole-killed vaccines. So the whole-killed vaccines are bacteria or virus that are killed. They are killed na po, so hindi na po sila magkakos ng disease. However, they produce weaker immune response compared sa mga live attenuated or yung mga pinahina lang. So the kinds po na ating whole-kill vaccines are the hepatitis A, flu shots, polio, and rabies po. The difference po for live attenuated, we cannot give po kasi yung mga weakened viruses or weakened bacteria to persons na meron pong problem sa immune system or meron siyang prior disease. Kuwari, may ongoing po na sakit, may ongoing po na lagnat, tapos bibigyan po ng live attenuated. Pwede pong hindi niya ma-fight off yung vaccine, pwede pong mag-cause ng disease. Also, for persons na magkaroon po ng AIDS na tinatawag, yung acquired immunity deficiency syndrome, which is caused by the HIV, mahina po yung immune system ng tao na yun. So, if given with the live attenuated or yung weakened, pwede pong hindi po niya ma-fight off yung mismong disease, pwede pong ma-reactivate. So, we can give po the whole-killed vaccines for these kinds of persons. A subunit vaccine naman, a cellular, so certain parts lang o fragments as you see in the video. So, may part lang po dan na parang yun yung pinaka nagpo-cause ng disease. At yun lang po yung ibibigay sa katawan. Dahil hindi naman po kompleto yung binigay na bacteria sa katawan ng tao, it will not cause a disease. Pero ma-recognize po yung part na yun na that's the pathogen o yun yung germs o yung bacteria na nag-cause ng disease. So if ever magkaroon ko po ng infection na ganong virus or bacteria, madali na po siya makikilala ng ating katawan. So the toxoid vaccine naman po yung toxin ng mismong pathogen or mismong virus or bacteria yung in-introduce sa katawan and it can cause immune responses. The conjugate naman po are weak antigen combined with a strong antigen and can lead to stronger immune response po. So next one is recombinant. This involves in DNA encoding ng antigen such as bacteria surface protein can stimulate immune response into bacterial or mammalian cells. So expressing the antigen in the cells and then purifying it for them. So may technology na po na ginagamit dito, hindi yung mismong bacteria lang, nagkakaroon na po ng technological advancement. So there's are the types of vaccines po na pwede natin makuha. So, next slide please. So we have passive and active immunization. So first sa active immunization or vaccination, so binibigyan po tayo ng vaccine which kung nasan po yung merong weakened bacteria or weakened virus. Pag na-introduce po sa katawan, nagkakaroon po ng immune response, nakikilala na katawan yung bacteria na yon at ng virus na yon. And then eventually, pag na-introduce po ulit sa atin yung ganong virus or bacteria, madali na po siyang matalo. However, for passive immunization naman po, for persons na hindi po pwedeng bigyan ng vaccination, pwede pong bigyan ng passive immunization. It's a direct introduction of these elements. So, meron po tayong ginagawa na meron pong experiments na sa other mammals po ginagamit yung vaccine and then pag produce po ng antibodies, yun po yung na-introduce sa tao. Yung IVIG na tinatawag, intravenous immunoglobulin. So, pwede rin po itong other way of immunization. Next po. So, ito lang po yung parts ng ating immune system o yung ating white blood cells. So, we have the T cells, the B cells, the antibodies, and the memory B cells and memory T cells. So, once po na pumasok yung virus sa katawan po natin, they are being acted upon our T cells or yung killer T cells natin. Pinapatay po nila, kinakain po nila sa cell nila, then pinapatay po nila sa loob ng cell, then they are showing po ng parts ng virus or ng bacteria sa labas nila. So, mag-interact po sila sa B cells. Yung B cells po na yun, makikilala niya po yung virus at yung bacteria na yun at nagpo-produce na po yung B cells natin, yung ating memory B cells ng antibodies. So, yung antibodies na tinatawag po natin ay produced by the B cells and these are proteins po na meron po silang genetic coding na kilala na nila yung certain virus or certain bacteria. So, umiikot po yan sa katawan natin. Once na mapasok po sa katawan po natin yung bacteria or virus, madali na po sila mag-attach at makikilala na po sila. Parang kilala na agad yung virus na yun o yung bacteria. So, madali siyang fight off. Imbis na pumasok na yung virus sa cell, magparami, mag-cause po ng disease. So, bago po niya magawa yun, pagpasok niya pa lang sa katawan, kilala na siya agad. So, yun po yung kinakaganda ng antibodies natin. So, if ever, yun po yung one way to produce antibodies kung na-infect ako at nagkaroon ka ng disease. So, preventing the disease naman po, pwedeng vaccination na lang yung gawin natin. So, with the vaccination, weakened or mahina po yung virus or na bacteria na inintroduce sa katawan, nag-cause po ng immune response, nakilala ng T cells, B cells, nag-produce po ng antibodies. Ayun po, nagkaroon po tayo ng antibodies without having the disease. So, maganda po siya compared magka-disease ka. So, to prevent the disease, we need to have vaccination po. So, ito lang po yung pinaka-main point po ng part na yan. So, just 10 countries accounts for 62% of unprotected children. Sa India lang po yung 95%. The Philippines, long way to go po. So, less than 60%. So, we are trying to target at least more than 70% ang mavaccinate po sa atin. Especially for the current situation in the world po, yung ating COVID virus. COVID disease. So, currently po sa COVID, our vaccination is around 61.2% of our population na vaccinate na po. And then, yung mga fully vaccinated around 66 million persons. So, the target is around 70 to 100% po. So, as to help na hindi na po maging transmissible yung COVID virus. Ayan po, same data. So, currently, total cases po in 3.6 million, 59,000 deaths. And people who are fully vaccinated around 66 million, which is around 61.2% po ng total population natin. And the current total doses given from the first dose, second dose, and the booster, around 148 million na po yung nabigay. So we are still experiencing the scare of the coronavirus, which is the COVID. Different vaccine brands arrive in the Philippines and millions of Filipinos have their vaccination jab, which can help to reduce the risk caused by the virus. In this way, we continue to strengthen our immune system. So, once na vaccinated po yung tao, the transmission po ng virus will be lessened. And wala na pong pwedeng mabagong ma-infect. So, eventually, mag-die down na lang po yung virus. Hopefully, ma-eradicate na po yung actual virus na yan. Hindi na po siya mag-spread to other persons and to other countries. Next slide. So, how can our products help with our immune system? So, they say na with our supplements, it can help our immune system. Pero the actual way of helping them is pinapalakas lang po natin yung immune system natin. However, we still need the vaccine po to help produce po yung antibodies. Pero with our supplements, it can help na yung body natin makapag-produce po sila ng antibodies kasi it can give us nutrition, proteins, or other polysaccharides that can help us produce the antibodies. So, kung nabaksinan ka man at medyo weak yung immune system mo, pwedeng kung live attenuated lang siya or yung pinahinang virus, pwedeng magkaroon ng disease. So, kung magpa-vaccine po kayo and with proper nutrition and proper supplementation, mag-work po siya side by side. May synergy po yung effect. So, these are supplements po from our company. The Ratio Gano, Ganocilium, Ratio Mushroom Powder, Black Cumin Plus, Cordyceps, and Roselle Juice and Tablet po. So next slide. So Ganoderma is the king of herbs, known as the king of herbs for its precious medicinal uses. For more than 2,000 years na po siya nagagamit. So very, na po siya, subok na po. So China, Ganoderma is listed in American Herbal Pharmacopoeia and Therapeutic Compendium. The major elements include polysaccharide, adenosine, and triterpenoids, so it can help our immune system, each having their own exceptional medicinal values. A kind of mushroom used by the Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, and Koreans for centuries to promote longevity and stamina and health. So our another in the Lingzi, called in Chinese, the Reishi in Japanese, and Kabote in Filipinos. So it has 400 active elements. So from the mushroom, these are main products for the RG and GL, and they work side by side. The ratio gano, a 90-old red mushroom, and the ganocilium, 40-day-old mycelium of Ganoderma lucidum. So the one, the RG is doing po nag-detoxify, and then the ganocilium is balances our body. So another one is the reishi mushroom, is the combination naman po ng essence of the RG and GL. So pinagsama na po siya. So naka-powder form po siya because pag powder na po, mas madali na po siyang ma-absorb ng ating katawan. So cordyceps naman po is sinensis, one of the most valued Chinese herbs. Is found naturally in the highlands of China, Tibet, and Nepal. And cordyceps po might improve immunity by stimulating the cells and specific chemicals in the immune system. It may also help fight cancer cells, shrink tumor size, particularly with lung or skin cancers. So these are natural way of fighting diseases. So the rare combination of caterpillar and fungus, based on studies, cordyceps helps strengthen immunity, increase your energy, endurance, and vitality, thus improving your daily performance. Next slide. So DXN cordyceps, ito na po yung ating mga tablet form, is made from high-quality strain of Cordyceps sinensis without any preservatives and easily absorbed by the body. Technological advances in DXN research and development team has successfully led to the production of DXN cordyceps in 2 different packaging. It is made from pure and carefully selected species of DXN cordyceps, which has been cultivated under stringent quality control and testing from cultivation to finished good. So, na po tayo from the raw materials to the product. Tayo na po yung mismo, hindi na po tayo nag-outsource ng other products natin, ng production ng products natin. Next slide. So, black cumin naman po. Black cumin, it helps sa immune system natin through immune modulation. The Nigella sativa has been used for medicinal purposes for centuries. The components of these are known as for its intense immune regulatory, anti-inflammatory, and antioxidant benefits in obstructive respiratory diseases. So black cumin seed attributes to the support and the body in its own natural healing process. It has also been used for a variety of conditions such as respiratory health, kidney and liver function, circulatory and immune system support, and to improve general health. So black cumin is also known as the Habatul Baraka, the seed of blessing, originates and is widely used people in the Middle East, ancient Egypt, and India, especially formulated for selected quality of black cumin. So added with clove and black pepper to enhance its benefits and contains no artificial ingredients. So maganda po yan. Wala po tayong mga preservatives sa ating mga products. So, DXN black cumin. Next one is yung ating natural vitamin C, the Roselle juice and tablet. So DXN Roselle tablet and juice is made from hibiscus subdalipa. So very rich po to with vitamin C. And vitamin C helps with the cell productions. Also, we can also help in the production of our antibodies. So it's a flowering plant that usually grows in both tropical and subtropical regions. And no artificial flavors, preservatives, and additives added. So again, as summary for what we have, I have lectured today that us protect ourselves from harmful virus by undergoing immunization and vaccination. So vaccine help save millions of lives every year. Proven na po yan, marami na po na-save ang ating vaccine. Especially nung mga later ages o mga nung sinaunang panahon na na-eradicate nga po yung isang kind of virus, hindi na po siya naging transmissible or hindi na siya na-transfer to other persons. And let us maintain a healthy immunity to fight against diseases. So, we supplement with our ano po. So every day we eat. Hindi na po natin nakukuha lahat ng nutrition na kain natin. Hindi po tayo nakapag-balance diet. So we supplement with our supplements in our company. So that's all. Thank you very much. So good morning po again to our partners.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Jose Carlo Magsino or Doc JC. Ayan, para sa immunization and vaccination week or month. Kasi as we all know, parang I believe April 23 yung start nung immunization week natin for this year. Gaya ng na-mention ni Doc JC. Okay, for our viewers, nariyan pa ba kayo? Pakipusuan naman or paki-thumbs up si Dr. Jose Carlo Magsino for that very clear and informative presentation that we just had. Okay, so I think, do you have questions ba? Check natin, Doc, kung meron pang mga katanungan yung ating mga viewers or clarification about this immunization and
Any questions?
vaccination. Yeah, kasi ako, Doc, parang ngayon ko lang nalaman na magkaiba pala yung ibig sabihin ng immunization and vaccination. I thought they are different pero connected pala sila. For siguro, Doc, while waiting sa questions nila, in behalf dun sa mga kapapasok pa lang or kaka-tune in pa lang, in a very short explanation or simplified explanation, yung immunization at yung vaccination. Kasi baka nagbo-wonder sila eh. Ano yung immunization, vaccination? Although they can watch this replay, this recorded video, but for those na ngayon pa lang naka-tune in, pwede nyo ba kaming i-enlighten once again for immunization and vaccination? Yung
Immunization.
pinaka-short lang, Doc.
So for us to be immunized, meron po tayong actually natural immune responses. So para po magkaroon po ng antibodies or certain chemicals that can fight off diseases, we need to be vaccinated po. For our vaccines, they are the yung ating mga bacteria or viruses na pinahina or pinatay at inintroduce sa katawan, causing immune responses, then developing certain antibodies, certain chemicals that can help fight off. So magiging immunized na po kayo. So in essence, ganun po actually they are almost connected. Nakamit kaya ata mamay.
Okay. Ayan, thank you, Doc. So, sa mga viewers natin once again na ngayon parang naka-tune in. So, don't worry, you can review or you can replay this video. Pero may question ulit ako, Doc. Parang ako lang po yung may question, Doc, no?
Medyo mahirap po yung topic, very technical yan.
Oo nga, medyo kahit ako parang ang daming mga medical terms kasi doon. Kaya sabi ko nga, pa-simplified nung iba. Pero eto, Doc, kunwari, hindi lang kunwari. For example, ako, nagtitake ako ng mga supplements ni DXN. Diba? Nag-RGGL ako, nag-spirulina ako, nag-Rosel, so, Andro G, Cordyceps, ayan. Tinitake ko halos lahat, pati kape ko, inililigo ko na. Ayan. Yun na yung kape ng DXN na yung dumadaloy sa dugo ko. Kailangan ko pa ba, Doc, na mag-take nitong mga booster na ito, mga vaccines na ito, na nire-release ngayon, lalo ng government?
Yes. So, from taking po ng mga ating mga supplements, especially mga ating mga products, it can help po in strengthening our immune system. So, sa production po ng antibodies and pag-strengthen po natin mga T-cells, B-cells. Yes, it can help. However, vaccination po, it can help po na there's certain types of bacteria and viruses that causes diseases or even deadly. Pag inintroduce po siya sa katawan, magkakaroon na po ng antibodies na madali na siya makilala yung mga diseases na yun. So, it's still needed po na we can magpa-vaccine pa rin po tayo so that if ever ma-introduce po sa atin yung certain disease na yun or certain virus or bacteria, hindi na po siya mag-lead into more complication or severe illness. So, pag na-vaccine kayo, madali na po makilala yung disease na yun o yung virus or bacteria na yun, madali na po siya ma-fight off ng katawan. Para naman po siya ma-fight off ng katawan, kailangan supported po yung katawan natin with our supplements para yung pong immune response na mag-a-attack po sa kanila is meron pong na ano po siya, na strengthen po siya with our nutrition, with our supplements. So, kailangan po almost working side by side pa rin po yung ating supplementation dahil yun nga po, not every day we eat healthy. Kahit ako, personally, hindi ako makakain ng balanced diet, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So all the nutrients and vitamins and mga certain types of chemicals hindi ko nakukuha every day. So we can help with supplementation. And then, to fight off diseases naman po, we can have the vaccine para at least yung katawan po natin, kilala na sila agad. So kung hindi ka magpa-vaccine and nagtitake ka na ng supplements, may chance po actually to ma-fight off mo yung disease or yung virus or yung bacteria. However, magkakaroon pa rin po siya ng effect. Magkaka-illness ka pa din. Pero kung na-vaccine ka na, pwedeng actually ma-prevent na yung mismong pag-cause ng illness. So that's it po for taking up the boosters. Kasi eventually din po actually kung everyday nakaka-interact ka with persons with the virus or the bacteria, kung immunized ka na po, kung you are vaccinated, na-produce na po ng antibodies sa katawan natin. Pero eventually, as the years go by, pwede pong maubos or eventually nawawala po yung certain antibodies na yun. So we need a booster para po magkaroon po ng new production of these antibodies.
Oh, okay. So, hindi kailangan na baliwalain yung vaccine and immunization just because we're taking our food supplements. At hindi rin pwedeng ihiwalay na yung food supplements just because nakapagpa-booster na tayo, Doc. Tama?
Yes.
Okay. So, side by side, sabi nga ni Doc JC. Anyway, Doc, may nagtanong dito, pero and just for clarification sa question, kasi ang term na ginamit niya is gamot. But, yan. So, disclaimer lamang po, ang ating pong produkto ay hindi po gamot at inire-recommend na gamot. Okay? So, pero Doc, ano po bang masasuggest ninyo na produkto ng DXN for HEPA B? Kasi medyo nadaanan niyo yung topic about HEPA. So,
yes,
what
HEPA
do you
po,
suggest?
kung hindi kayo vaccinated or immunized, pwede po kayong mahawaan ng HEPA and can lead to liver disease. And eventually, pag po mahina yung immune system natin, pwede po siyang mag-prolong yung disease na yan cause ng liver cancer. So actually po, wala pong actual na gamot for HEPA na pwede ko po i-check ulit. Pero with the HEPA B, what we can do is we strengthen our immune system. So as mentioned po before, almost all our products helps with immunity, making our immunity stronger. So we have the GL and the RG, combined sa reishi, and then the cordyceps and the black cumin. So all of which can help sa strengthening the immune system. And then we can add up with Rosel to boost our vitamin C sa katawan. Yan po. So
Okay, so Miss Pen Romero, we do hope na nasagot po namin talaga, nasagot po, nabigyan namin ng linaw ang inyong katanungan regarding with your question. So, heto Doc, kasi medyo naririnig na natin to sa mga bali-balita ngayon na parang sinasabi na we need to take another second booster. So, ano yung masasabi po ninyo dito, particularly dun sa ating mga viewers or members na hesitant pa rin kasi some are not, some doesn't believe sa booster or they are afraid na baka may mangyaring ganito or ganyan. So, ngayon na magkakaroon na naman ng second booster, Doc, ano ba yung pwede nating sabihin sa ating mga viewers para hindi sila matakot or well, although we respect their decisions if they want to take these boosters or not. Pero kasi tinakal ninyo kanina yung importance nitong mga ito and very important siya as WHO is campaigning this one, the immunization and vaccination naman talaga. So, Doc JC, ano po yung pwede po ninyong
yes po. So, for persons na natatakot po sa ating vaccines, As explained po kanina, our vaccines po are weakened or pinahinang virus or bacteria. So, kahit pag mabigyan ka nun, ang usual symptoms, yung nasabi ko kanina, mild fever, body aches, and eventually, mawawala naman po yung mga yun for a few days. However, kung hindi ka naman vaccinated, you can get the actual virus and have the actual disease. Kung, well, hindi po kasi kaya lahat actually nakaka-visit ng hospital. Pero nung time po na medyo kasagsagan po ng COVID, there are a lot of persons po talaga na they are intubated, hindi po makahinga, hirap huminga, ang baba po ng oxygen sa katawan. So, we can prevent that through vaccination. So, the booster naman po, so, as explained kanina po, eventually po, yung ating mga antibodies, they, kumukonti, and we need a booster para po magkaroon po ulit ng immune response, magkaroon po ng bagong production ng ating mga antibodies. So, it's very important na we are vaccinated. I guess this is not just for you na ma-infect ka, tapos magkaroon ka ng disease, at maging source ka pa ng diseases ng other people, na especially yung mga people na high risk na tinatawag, yung mahina na po yung immune system. And these persons are usually po yung sobrang tanda, sobrang bata, or yung mga taong may sakit like HIV or AIDS. So, personally, kung ikaw, you care for them, ikaw na po mismo, magpapabaksin ka. Para ikaw, kuwari, kasama po kayo sa bahay, hindi mo na sila mahahawaan. Kasi sila, yung iba po kasi, hindi po sila pwede actually bigyan pa ng vaccine. So yung sobrang bata po ngayon, kailangan po pa ng further studies, and so sa mga, yung mga may sakit na may immunodeficiency na tinatawag. So, with that, if vaccinated ka, you help also the other people na hindi pwede mabaksinan. So, hindi mo sila mahahawaan. So, ganun na lang po, just cooperation or tulong na lang din po sa ibang tao na hindi po pwede mabaksin.
Yun. I believe na yan na rin po yung sagot ni Doc JC sa question mo, Miss Gwendolyn, na sabi niya, needed pa po ba ang booster? Kasi kami, done na kami sa vaccine. So sabi nga ni Doc JC, no, yun na yung ating ambag sa lipunan at ambag sa ating kapwa Pilipino na protektahan natin sila kung tayo ay magpapabaksin or papabooster pa. Okay, kasi kami din, Doc, sa family namin, lahat kami fully vaccinated. Nakapag-booster na rin. So, I think that's all ng questions natin from our viewers. Although meron ako ditong last at pinakamahirap na question to Doc para sa'yo. Ready ka, Doc? So, Doc, eto yung tanong kasi dito. May tanong dito. Oo, sabi dito, sino daw sa inyo ang pinaka-ma-appeal sa inyong mag-ama?
Mukhang si father po.
Dapat lang daw kasi watching siya, nakita ko. Hello, Sir Jess, Sir Jaime Magsino. Alright, so that's all for our Wellness Wednesday, for our HNP, Dr. Jose Carlo Magsino. Pusuan naman natin at palakpakan si Doc. And don't worry dahil po, makakapiling natin siya not only online but face-to-face soon. Abangan natin yan. Nag-promise si Doc yan, face-to-face. Diba,
Yes.
Doc? So maraming salamat pong muli, Dr. JC, for your time, and see you on our next session.
Hopefully, marami po kayo natutunan, and
Yes.
pwede po mga questions. Next time na lang po. Next na.
Yes, dadaanan niya ni Doc JC. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you po. Good morning, DXN po ulit.
Alright, mga partners, nagustuhan nyo ba? Marami kayong natutunan sa ating episode ngayong Wellness Wednesday. Kung meron, thumbs up and pupuso naman dyan. And of course, paki-replay pa rin po itong ating, paki-repost pa rin po itong ating live stream. And for those na mga latecomers, late na nakapag-tune in, don't you worry dahil pwede nyo po itong balik-balikan dito sa nag-iisang official page ng DXN Philippines. Kaya naman, dito lamang mag-tune in tuwing 3:00 ng hapon para marami po kayong matutunan not only about our products but of course, meron tayong mga motivational. Every Monday, meron tayong mga pa-cooking show. Malalaman natin paano natin lulutuin at ipiprepare yung ating mga produkto every Tuesday sa ating Taste It Tuesday. And every Wednesday, we have this Wellness Wednesday. And then Thursday, meron din tayo. And on Friday, Fun Fit Friday, maki-induct, makisaya, makihataw tayo. Napakaraming programang inihanda ng management team para po sa inyong lahat. Okay, so sabi nga po ni Doc JC na hindi natin pwedeng ihiwala yung pag-take ng food supplements just because nakapag-take na tayo ng booster. At hindi rin naman porket nagtitake tayo ng supplements ay ihiwalay na natin or hindi na tayo magpapa-booster or magpapa-vaccine. Kailangan inline po yan, magkasama po, tandem din po. Okay? Now, dito nga si Dr. Lim, di ba lagi niyang inuuna tayo, lalo na kayong mga members, kung kayo ay distributors, kailangan inuuna ninyo ang inyong personal na produkto or personal na pangangailangan. Kaya naman, dahil malapit na po tayong mag-cut off, 3 days to go. Reminder po sa ating lahat ng mga viewers, sa ating mga members, leaders na please continue to tawag nito, complete your points, your personal point value. Unahin niyo po ang mga supplements na makakatulong magpalakas ng inyong immune system, lalo na ngayon na meron pa tayong kinakaharap na pandemya. And of course, ayan. So, that's it for today. Abangan niyo po kami, ang sales team na nag-iikot ngayon all over the Philippines para po sa mga new products launching. So, iniikot po natin yan para po mas ma-explain at hindi nyo lamang nakikita ang ating mga produkto sa poster or sa Facebook, kundi maaamoy, mahahawakan at matitikman ninyo ang mga ito. Ihahatid namin yan sa inyo. Abangan nyo po kami sa aming mga announcement. Okay po? So with that, this is Ivy Celeste, ang Area Sales Coordinator ng North Luzon, nagsasabing good morning and God bless everyone. Bye!